And here we are. Here I am in the flesh. Hi, everybody. Good to be back. Now, let me take a little setting here. Frosty does not want to stay open. Give me just a moment. General. System. Light, dark, accent, color. Chat. Show deleted messages. Force vertical chat. Prevent sleep in chat only mode. There we go. Excellent. I have to say, Aqua, hello, Hurricane of 87. Welcome. The only time I would ever welcome a Hurricane to the Aqua Lounge. It normally sounds like a bad idea, but you're an exception. Welcome. Now, everything's in place. Let's try a little game called Automaton Heart. Some of you might be familiar with the Automaton series, because we've talked about it before on Aqua Lounge way back before the big hiatus. It's a game called Automaton Lung. Back on the ye old times. Oh, hello, Nasty Crime Boy. Welcome, welcome. Back in the ye old times of the Nintendo 3DS, Automaton Lung was the first game, or the last game, rather, the opposite of first, the last game you could legally buy on the Nintendo 3DS eShop. I think it came out something like 6 weeks before the eShop shut down. Can't really remember. But I, as part of my Aqua Lounge Deep Dive series on YouTube, which will be coming back in some form, I did an interview with the developer of this game. Really excellent dev by the name of Luke Vincent, who may or may not be dev in chat right now. Don't know. But if you're here, welcome, Luke. Whether you're not, you're chatting. And Automaton Heart, I'm actually going to do a little shout out for right now. If I am correct, this game, you, if you like it, can back it on Kickstarter with a mere 6 hours to go. How fortuitous. Totally unintentional. We are in the last 6 hours of this game's Kickstarter campaign. It's been successfully funded, but if you like what you see, throw some money this way. And for those in chat, toss the link around a couple times. And with that said, I'm going to get to work. Let's enjoy Automaton Heart. The thing I really liked about Automaton Lung, which is the follow-up to, and its improvement on it in almost every way, is it explores this sort of minimalist emptiness that you get from these really early kind of pre-open world 3D worlds. And by pre-open world, I mean before... Oh, look at that. Now that is a thumbnail, if I've ever seen one. Chilling in the hot tub on Aqua Lounge. Yeah, let's get a nice, good pose there. Very good. But yeah, when I say pre-open world, I mean, for instance, look at these sort of floor reflections here. These might just be screen space reflections, unsure. But it harkens back to this time where, in this 3D of this era, everything was super reflective. And a lot of it was faked. A lot of it was faked by just doubling the meshes and having characters mirrored with another model on the side of a mirror screen. Oh, look at this. Rice ration. Right action to pick up. Can I take you? A right action. Right action. Right action. I'm whacking it. Do I want to do that? Right action. Let's see. A self-destruct button and an organs menu. Very good. Yeah, I can't remember the last time my brain was at 100% either. In quite some time. Anything in the inventory? Oh, okay, so I did pick up the rice ration by whacking it, I believe. Or not. Right action. Well, oh, I see. It's B. B is right action, as you do. I did get the right action. How about that? If you noticed her. But the thing I really liked about Automaton Lung and its in-development sequel is that it channeled oh my goodness. We just got jumped by a chimera, I believe. Panther goat of some sort. That's pretty good. But by pre-open world, I mean games that had gotten this sort of open world scale on PC particularly, because consoles of the time weren't really capable of handling big maps. PC games were at a certain fidelity, but they hadn't quite figured out the conventions for making those worlds parsable. So they were just vast, kind of aimless, and kind of haunting as a result. Automaton Lung really channeled that very thoughtfully in a way that I liked. Like you can see here, the storytelling is starting off really strong. It's all just, minimalist environmental stuff. PC games of the time really excelled at that, and I feel like Automaton Lung really channeled that intentionally, and this game's starting off on the right foot, most certainly. This has the problem is, we move way too fast. Yeah, and that's an interesting thing because, it's true, it may be a problem. Also, I can hold down the stick to move slower if I wanted to, because it does have true analog control. The vibes are good. Oh, whoops. It's always a question of, what does the function key do? Does it do the hotbar, or does it do the thing that's not the hotbar? Oh, this is neat. Yeah, it's true. There's no camera acceleration in a modern sense. That's accurate. That's a little too quiet. There we go. There's no camera acceleration in a modern sense, but also it is faithful to the kind of juice it's drawing from, so I have to say, playability-wise, it might be a little bit of friction there, but that I don't really mind, I don't think. The old brick wall. This is in Unity, I believe it's in Unity. The first game... No, Lung was in Unity. Lung is a Unity game. One of my favorite things about that is that Luke got it running on the stock 3DS, which was something that both Nintendo and Unity thought was impossible. It was developed for new 3DS, but he did get it running on the stock 3DS. I liked the reveal of this area with these. He's using some depth effects here, like this. This color is depth based, clearly. Is it? I'm not actually sure. I didn't get a. I didn't get any kind of engine notification or. It might say on the Kickstarter campaign. Another plug. No, what the hell? I don't want to put it in racing mode. I don't even know what that is. Another plug for the Kickstarter. It probably says all about it in there. I will say, Cinemachine, as a Unity developer, Cinemachine is not a be-all, end-all, but it does do camera smoothing stuff very well. I don't know. I'm cool with the camera being this way. I like it a little rough in this game. I like it rough edges. I think that adds to it. It's kind of an experiential thing. One of those deals where it's not always fun to experience a rough edge. Oh, secret. I like these dizzying corridors. It's not always fun to experience a rough edge, but if it adds to the overall experience of the thing, I welcome it. Oh yeah, Psycho Patrol R. Now, ain't that something? For those who don't know, the developer behind Cruelty Squad just put out a new game that I best describe as like Counter-Strike 1.6 meets Shogo Mobile Armor Division meets Cruelty Squad. It's pretty good. I haven't run it because, you know me, I like to run kind of off-radar stuff, and everybody's going to be playing Psycho Patrol R because everybody played Cruelty Squad. But it's one of those games that really does deserve the attention that it gets. Yeah, the SWAT series too. That's very true. Oh, possibly Tiana says this is in Godot. Okay, I would believe it. I have not made the hop over to Godot myself. I am, as the funny joke says, waiting for Godot to have a better solution for porting to console. Alright, I believe I've seen everything there is to see in here. But for those who can do it, more power to them. I always said that I would love to do a game jam game in Godot. I think that's about where I'm ready to commit to it at this point. But I love what it stands for. Ah. Send a signal through the conduit. Whoa, we have cinematics now. That was music from Lung. Oh, we have multiple playable characters. This is immediately more ambitious. It's in our inventory. What did I just pick up? Heart medicine, disposable inhaler, and a chip. Can I use it? I used the chip. I don't know if I was supposed to do that. New noodle video. I have not watched a noodle video. Tell me about the noodle video. Rothgar make condom looking chip. Yeah, very Metal Gear Solid 1 inventory wheel. Or reminds me of like Deus Ex as well. And System Shock and things like that. Whoa. Literally, whoa. Yeah, this is really... It's funny because games that are... Oh my goodness. Yes, the environments are already a lot more varied than the first games. Automaton launcher. Alright. Excellent. Now we have... Alright, so I have a kick, but I don't have a weapon. Okay, so it's X to launch. Alright, I got a pistol now. I think I shot myself by accident there. That is a bug. I'm gonna take care of that. Hello, sir. A beetle leg. So we got enemy drops now. I used something on my right tooltip. I'm sure what that was. It's just my kick, okay. Oh no! Nojoto, are you alright? Emergency storm warning. That's no good. I've had some pretty bad storms here myself. Very good. Glad everything's alright. Is there a crouch? There is. I have a chip. Oh, this music goes too. We have multiple weapons. Wow, this is degrees more ambitious than Automaton 1 was. Oh, was that a roll? Did I just do a roll? Oh, goody. This game's got a lot of cool stuff in it. Thank you. And, Nojoto, if you did not catch earlier because you were under a storm warning, glad you're okay. The Kickstarter for this game is within its final hours, so this is your last chance to help pitch into this game to make it bigger and better. Very good. Quick on the draw. Thank you. As always, you make this stream a little bit better every time you're here. All right, can I get up there? The double jumping in this game is interesting because you have to do it with the launcher. Ah, I got the chip? No, I did not, but it was close. Yeah, the jump gets you vertical, and the launcher gets you a little vertical, but mostly horizontal. There we go. I got that last chip. I have a whole bag now. Also, for any folks that I haven't seen come in, welcome. Ah, we have switches now. So I was at GDC last week. Well, technically the week starts on Sunday, but the week starts on Monday to me. I know it's factually incorrect, but there we go. I think the pistol takes a little bit of my health. Oh, we have lock-on now. Look at that. Very good. Yes, the cube is aggressive. Can I kick the beetle? No. Can I inspect the bug? No. I can inspect something. Yes, but we have a very nearest neighbor lock-on system. But yes, there we go. Oh, so that just takes us up here. Very good. Yeah, the level design in this is very modular in a way that is, I don't know, not as organic and a little labyrinthine, but I like it, and I think that Luke makes it work very well. What's different about my webcam setup this time? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing is different about my webcam setup this time. It's just pointing to me in a different way. Or rather, I have slid it slightly on the screen in which it's mounted. See, what a lot of people don't know is I always try to dress appropriately for the stream, and I never actually get to show it. So I figured I would move that a little bit. Ah, and here's the target that we couldn't get to before. Oh, it's a vault. Interesting. I can't move that. Oh, there might be woe in that vault. I have a sneaking suspicion that there's woe in that vault. That probably isn't something we should be in a hurry to get to. That is W-O-E. If it was W-O-W, I would be a lot more excited about trying to open it up. Instead, I'm trepidatious. So I suppose this is the only way forward. I already have the launcher and stuff, so this all respawn. Maybe I went the wrong way. Yes, I did go the wrong way. I just missed that. Oh, I can't go out this door. Interesting. What about here? Ah, here we are. I like these little leaping frogs. Oh no, these are the eyeball guys from Lung, but they're a little corrupted. Yeah, we got big combat, all right. Need to take a look at my inventory. You have chip. Wait, oh, there's a weight system. I can get over encumbered. The frictions in this game are audacious. Yes, I think I understand what you're saying there, and I think I'm in agreement. What does using a chip do? Does that restore my health? No, it does not. What about an organ core? Or a beetle leg? That heals my stomach. Heart medicine. That'll probably heal my heart. There we go. Very good. All systems. We are, yes, indeed, Sumitsu. I was conferring with developers in person, not but a week ago. Over in San Francisco, I was at GDC. And it's funny because I was trying to do one thing that I probably shouldn't disclose, but it didn't happen. If you follow my adventures as a developer, you can probably guess what I was trying to do. It's what everybody was trying to do during GDC this year, and nobody got to do it. So that didn't really pan out. And one thing led to another. And my primary thing I ended up doing... Oh, I can do a little flip. Ah, my lungs. My automaton lungs. Callback. Oh, hello. Who are you? Lurking in the water. I don't like that. Yes, in a sense, yes, that's what I'm talking about. But so I ended up primarily going as just kind of repping Aqualounge and scouting out some cool games. I didn't intend to go as press. I intended to go as a developer for the reasons of developing games. Also, I saw a person over there. Say that again. As press. And under the Aqualounge, my badge was under Aqualounge and everything. I went there to do an Aqualounge roadshow that some of you might have seen on Bluesky. But first, let's see this. This person is evil. If they're evil, oh dear. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to talk to them. Oh well. I suppose we're not supposed to be breaking out. Yes, the walking kiosk shenanigans. If anybody saw that. For those unfamiliar, one of the new initiatives I've undertaken with Aqualounge is the Aqualounge Roadshow, where if there are Aqualounge appropriate games, or Aqualounge aligned games, I suppose, that fit the aesthetic and the vibe, I will take them on the road with me if I go to a conference. The first one I did was MagFest. I was able to set up a projector for that one and run 5 games back to back to back. And that went swimmingly. I had a great time doing that. Shout out to MIVS and the MagFest Indie Arcade for all the help you did with that. And shout out to everybody who got me builds and demos. But GDC, it's a little more, shall we say, pay to play over there. It may not be a secret to some of you who are in the know. Will there ever be an Aqualounge Direct? You'll just have to find out, won't you? I'm not going to answer that definitively right now, but I must say the thought has crossed my mind. Nevertheless, GDC, it's a little bit more of a pay-to-play kind of show. As some of you are no doubt aware, GDC is very expensive. By very expensive, I can disclose that the cost of my total cost of my trip before meals is about $2,500. Wasn't jazzed about paying that. Wasn't jazzed about paying that and not really getting a professional development goal out of it. I'm going to also give up on crossing that. But it was paid, and at least at this point, since I'm indie again, it's probably good that I show up, especially considering that I am in the relatively remote region of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, far away from any coast, and certainly far away from where a lot of video game industry buzz happens. But yes, GDC is expensive. Showing at GDC is something in the thousands of dollars. If you want a booth in GDC, you are going to have to pay money that most indie developers can't afford. games that are in the GDC Independent Games Festival, or IGF, which, by the way, congratulations to Consume Me, the IGF McNally Prize winner. It's essentially Indie Game of the Year, according to the IGF. Yes, it is kind of I wouldn't say pay to win, but pay to play most definitely. And so I found myself as kind of a one-person operation in that scenario. How was I going to do the Aqualounge Roadshow at something like GDC? Well, I thought about it. There was an event I did find that I could have paid a couple $100 to have a table at. And I thought, well, I can have a table at this event, or, oh yeah, you can do a little flip. It's really cute. So I guess these are like barracks or something. These androids live there. I can't pick anything up from them. And these all look more or less the same, so I think I'm going to move on. But I could have paid a couple $100 for a table at a kind of orbiting event. Much of GDC and much of what happens at GDC is outside of the show. Essentially, all of San Francisco gets taken over. All the major bars, clubs, even restaurants get booked. And there are after parties of varying degrees of quality. Some of you might have seen some photos from a party sponsored by a certain internet message board that was, in a word, deafening. I could not breathe, I could not speak, I could barely move. It was pretty rough. But there are some parties that were good, and there are some events outside of GDC that are really good. One of them was called, or it was a Boshi's Place, and a co-op whose name, I think it's Syzygy? I cannot pronounce the name. Syzygy, I think it is a co-op in San Francisco, game development co-op area studio for arcade-style stuff, installation-style stuff, and Boshi's Place is one in New York. And they did a really cool indie arcade show. Oh my goodness. I just died. Oh, ho, ho, ho. Oh, yes. This is a great game over. I'm glad I died. That was a great game over. Love the use of pre-rendered cutscenes in this. We gotta bring that stuff back for sure. Did I keep my inventory? I did. Oh, no, I kept my equipment, but not my items. I see. Let's get my chip here. Get some beetle legs here. Yum, yum. Oh yeah, I could have. Let's see. Let's do my. Throw the shotgun out. I see. Okay, very good. Yeah, we were playing as a different character, a mysterious hooded different character who I did not recognize. Anyway, before I was so rudely interrupted by my own lack of skill. There was one event that I could have paid a couple $100 to get a table at. And in hindsight, I'm glad I didn't, because it was a very limited crowd, a very limited space. I essentially would have just been limited to my laptop on a table. And it would have been very hard to get any eyes on the roadshow. But I took that money, and I built this crazy thing that ended up working. And that ended up being a screen strapped to my chest, a mesh backpack that I was running my laptop out of. And cube. The unfriendly cube. Okay, very good. This is much better, I believe. Can I get the beetle, please? There we go. This is much more effective. So I built this crazy walking rig, and I ran the roadshow off of my chest, essentially. Yeah, I think booths are a little overrated, and that was something I was going to talk about. But thank you. I thought it was pretty based myself. Not to toot my own horn, but I ran Automaton Heart. I ran Unbeatable White Label, which is a demo for Unbeatable, rhythm action RPG, which has been spoken about around Aqualounge before. I don't know if we ever ran it. I should run that sometime. Unbeatable, yes, Unbeatable is going to be fantastic. If you are in any way excited by the idea of a rhythm action JRPG, you should check it out, because boy, oh boy, that is going to be pretty great when that happens. And I also ran, yeah, those are some good adverbs, aren't they? Oh, thank you for the subscription. Tier 1 sub, 2 months from Dieting Hippo. First sub of the night. Thank you so much. Long-time friend of the lounge. And always happy to see you. And I'm not happy to see this catfish. I'm fishing down here. There we go. And so I ran that. I ran the Automaton Heart demo. Reading up some Dungeon Letter inspirations are some Xenogears, Final Fantasy VIII, Fooly Cooly, and Turn of the Millennium Gynax. Yeah, that about sums up the vibe on Unbeatable. So if you haven't checked it out, you should. Also, for those who are just joining, running the Automaton Heart demo, whose Kickstarter probably has about 5 hours left. It's been posted in chat before. I am currently otherwise occupied shooting some fellas. But otherwise, if somebody's still got the link, drop it in the chat so that people who are new or who are just rolling in could have a chance to pitch some money towards this game while they still have the chance, because the clock is ticking. Thank you, Nojoto, very much. I also ran the game that we're going to be seeing later, Rubine, the first fight demo, which is truly slept on, truly underrated, excellent rail shooter on-person rail shooter, inspired by everything from Radiant Silvergun, Sin and Punishment, Gunstar Heroes, Panzer Dragoon, you name it. All of my favorite foods in one game, and it is beautiful. I don't know if Turk is in the chat right now, developer of... Yes, Radiant Silvergun mentioned, you know it. This is a treasure-loving house. We love treasure in this house. Oh, there's my way out. I see. Well, I did that. No effort this time. Yeah, Sin and Punishment has a banger soundtrack as well. But those are the games I ran. I ran Unbeatable White Label, I ran this demo, and I ran the demo for Rubine First Fight. There's another game that I want to run on Aqualounge called Cupidon. That was mouse and keyboard only, so I couldn't run it on the show. I was using controller. And Street Unicycle X. A lot of you probably know. Oh, I get to communicate to the prayer statue. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not overcome it. Isn't that right? I really felt that one. And so Street Unix. Street Unix indeed. That's a very cyberpunk thought. But it would have literally been Street Unicycle X if I could have gotten my controller to work with it. It's a 8-bit DOE Champion 2C, or Ultimate 2C. People living in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of the shadow of death, a light has dawned. Cryptic as always. Right action to use. Oh, ladder. Ladders. Yay, we got ladders. Oh, this is gorgeous. This is also a remixed lung track, I believe. Oh, this is not evil. Let's see. This is the end of your path, Alma. Enter the cube to redirect a signal to Misha. Oh, so I am Alma. Let's see. Alma and Misha. Yeah, it's a good cube. The Nintendo Good Cube. Famous game console. Oh, there's now a flight launcher. That's exciting. So you have different launchers. Oh, that's so beautiful. Look at that. Ah, so here we are. You have the other one. Oh, so I believe what might be going on is I might be controlling these automatons remotely. I'm assuming this is the character from Lung, but I might not be sure. Yeah, this is gorgeous. Also, if this is Godot, which I'm unaware if it is, using the graphics effects in this that are, I don't know, doing these effects in Godot is not trivial. So shout out to Luke on that one. Oh, wow. I just got one-shotted by that thing. Well, I think this just sent me back to the start of the demo. So I'm going to change over to Rubine here in a sec, because it's about that time. It'll take a little bit longer to poke around and see what the demo has in store. Well, actually, probably didn't reset my progress, so I can probably just pick back up. Oh, there's some books. What do they say? Fundamentals of Applied Entomology, Secret Teachings of All Ages, and Principles of Robot Motion. I like how there's a moth-eaten chair and a normal chair. Chimera's a certified rundender. Hello, Shaxbert. Oh, so glad you're here. Longtime friend of the lounge in spirit and a longtime mutual. Welcome, Shaxbert. Yeah. Yeah, we got some, oh yeah, Chimera certified rundender, no kidding. I'm getting generated over here. Hello, Spooky Swaddling. Ah, everybody's rolling in. Very good. Happy to see regulars coming in today, which is just in time for me to start talking about my experience at GDC. I was talking a little bit about the GDC roadshow that I did with that crazy rigmarole screen strapped to my chest, and that worked out pretty well, all things considered. I could run for about an hour and change off of battery. The screen was running off of a USB-C power bank, and the oh, mushrooms. Yeah, the screen was... Oh, I see. That was a glitch door. Now it's down. I like the... Interesting that this all has edge outlines. It's got a... I wonder how they're doing that shader-wise. It's pretty cool. Yeah, this is gorgeous. But yeah, just talking about the roadshow and how that went. That went great. And it was really cool to be at a show like GDC that's so pay-to-play that the number one question that I got when I was there in the crowd was, wait, you're not showing your own game? Why are you showing somebody else's game? And I kind of had to go into the spiel a bunch of times about how I'm really looking to curate, and that's the biggest thing I'm trying to do. And doing that at a show like GDC caught a lot of people off guard, which I thought was interesting. Here we are, back again. Oh, yes! There we go. This looks familiar to me. So I think we have 3, yes, games for the people. I was literally out on the ground bringing games to the people. But yeah, looks like we have 3 playable characters in Heart. And this is the character from Lung. I remember that. So we have another one and a new mysterious character. Let's see. Welcome back. Thank you. This game is getting ambitious and complicated. I do not have a weapon to open this door. I'll have to head down this way. Well, I like these little lanterns. Thankfully, these beetles are not hostile. But as was mentioned in chat before, I agree. Booths are overrated. You can't really do much to stand out from those around you, and they can dominate your presence if they're a different kind of game. You're stuck in one place. You have to have somebody man the booth. They cost so much money. And without a concrete plan to reach some specific audience person or publisher or something of the sort, you're really not going to do a whole lot by paying for a booth. So that was part of this experiment, was seeing, hey, can I take the money that I would use for a bare minimum table, $210, and build something with it that worked. And I did. I looked to improve it. Maybe I can rustle up a Steam Deck from somebody. Get a little more battery life out of it. When you say GDC is pay-to-play, how so? I've never been, but my understanding it was more of a technical event. It's more business networking-oriented. It is, very much. However, it's pay-to-play on several levels, and I'll go into that after I talk to these statues. Oh, okay, I see. Please affirm our trust in you. You use the tools available to destroy the evil one. Whoever takes a human life shall surely be put to death. I see. I guess some of the showcasing at GDC might be from PAX not being... PAX is a thing. Like PAX Prime, PAX East. Yeah, PAX is absolutely a thing, unless I missed something. Did something happen? Test Tube Terry, I have played the predecessor to this game, Automaton Heart. Oh, no, you're right. Yeah, no, it's true. No worries. Yeah, E3 isn't a thing, although the ESA has announced, I'm going to have to go dig up the name of it again. The ESA has announced a new trade show with a stupid name that I cannot remember. What is... Icon, spelled with 2 I's. And instead of... you can find the ESA at stupiddumb.com. That is right. Yes, Icon, spelled with 2 I's. And not only that, it is no longer in LA, but it is in Vegas, which I think is an interesting change of some significance. Oh, I like these cows. Very tech demo vibes in here in a way that I like a lot. Yeah, it's joking and less. That's kind of how I feel about it, too. Oh, what is this? Record keeper. Let my fire warm you while I read and write the information in your mind. Stay silent, child. Speak without speaking. Organs... Oh, I see. Oh, my gosh. So this is like a bonfire. This is like a... like an Automaton Heart bonfire, but it's got a little fairy inside it that's burning. That's pretty good. We love a biblically accurate fairy. But yeah, GDC being pay-to-play. So a standard expo pass is around $300. That gets you into the expo, which is a show floor with some booths. And that's it. If you want to get into any talks at GDC, you have to buy a higher badge up. You can get the Independent Game Summit badge. I didn't get it this year, and I'm glad I didn't, because last year, 2024's GDC, that badge was $450, and they raised the price to $500 this year. I was convinced that, especially because I did so little in the actual expo hall and the area where the talks were last year, I was convinced that I just wouldn't get my money's worth out of a badge that cost $500. So that alone is already a huge money sink. Then you have to stay in San Francisco, which is financially unfeasible for a lot of people because it's an extremely expensive city. Yes, professional trainings being standalone but not talks themselves. It's true. The reason why, Billionaire, it's so expensive is because a lot of publishers or other developers, like development studios, will pay partially or in whole for developers to go there for professional development reasons. So that's all like personal development money. Well, that's not money paid by an individual. That's money set aside by a studio, which is kind of on a different tier of expenditure, right? So that's what sets the standard for what people will pay for GDC. And then the individual, the indie, really has to pay the price. $500 for a pass is kind of crazy. And if you don't manage to get the Independent Game Summit pass and you want a pass that has more stuff, you have to do the All Access Pass, which is $1,000. That is a $1,000 badge. That is not for an individual to pay. So there's all of that. And then, of course, if you want any space to show your game, you're going to have to work with San Francisco being very crowded. There being limited venue spaces. You have to work with the fact that the booths, the show themselves, are going to be prohibitively expensive. Yeah, meep, indeed. Indeed. Also, it's oddly empty for a room that should be closed. Let's take a look in here. I got a chip. That was about it. See some light seams, but it tells me those aren't it. So, with all that in mind, you might be interested to hear about the show floor at GDC this year, because I did manage to walk the show floor with some folks from the Insert Credit podcast. Liz Ryerson was there, and I got to talk with her. Got to meet Frank Cifaldi and got to meet some other cool folks from the Chris Kohler from the Video Game History Foundation. They had a fantastic booth. Fantastic booth. Probably one of my favorites on the floor. They had a bunch of ephemera of, it was all focused on the NES, but they had a lot of ephemera from canceled games that they had gathered up, magazines, prototypes, etc. Yeah, Insert Credit's really cool. I have been on an episode of Insert Credit to hawk Aqualounge. I was able to proudly convince Frank Cifaldi and Tim Rogers that 2013 was the worst year in AAA video games. Mainly on the ill distinction of having Beyond Two Souls in it. But that's not particularly relevant to this conversation. What I do want to say is... Actually, let me talk to these statues first. Shift to gain altitude. Let's see. Yeah, I'll have the same thing to say. Oh, I'm really glad. I'm glad that you heard of me through that episode of the podcast. Well, I kind of accidentally got myself onto it again because I'm part of their GDC floor coverage along with Liz. Ty Underwood was there. Some other folks. But there was something interesting about the GDC floor this year that I thought was worthy of note. Normally, the GDC floor is dominated by a lot of booths from Epic Games, either for Unreal or for Fortnite or for both. I remember GDC 2018, the last GDC I went to before COVID. There was a great big Fortnite Pinata rodeo bowl, like a mechanical bowl that you could go and ride. And I kind of looked at that, and that was a real moment of disbelief that I realized I had gone totally through the looking glass. Microsoft usually has a big booth. Unity usually has a big booth. None of them were there this year. All of those big booths. Meta had a booth, but I don't like them. They don't count. I have bad blood with Meta, as we all should after their recent stunts. But a lot of the big platform holders, they just conspicuously opted not to come this year. This is the first year in recent memory where that's ever happened. And people were whispering about that. Why do I think they weren't? I think they determined that it wasn't worth the money this year, which says a lot about the state of things. Well, I wonder what happens if I... Oh, let's see. Control or left stick to crouch or crawl. The input can be held to enter the crawl state. Alright, very good. Ah, I see. So we can 2 levels of crouch. I always like that. Yeah, I figured that they thought it wasn't worth it. That the people that they would be selling to wouldn't be there. Or that the cost of running a booth at GDC wasn't worth attending given the market conditions right now. I heard that for contracting, for job hunting even... Oh, an ebony prayer statue. Interesting. That one's dark. But for contracting and for job hunting, this year's GDC was not as bad as people would expect. But nobody had any money. And I have a feeling, oh, we're back in the outside. Very good. Like, compare this to Automaton Lung. Like, just compare this to Automaton Lung visually. It's such a world apart. It's such a big leap up. Luke has done an amazing job with this. Oh, I did not mean to go in that cave again. I'm going to take a swig. Give me a second here. Since the public wasn't around, was there an outsized emphasis on nebulous AI features for game products? Yes. Although, it's a little bit more complicated than you might think. Oh, here it is. Let's see. R to mount and dismount this device. I got the hoverboard. Excellent. R, huh? And that's the kick. Oh, there's a first-person mode. Well, that's exciting. Does this not have a default keybind? Ah, there we go. Now we have a keybind. Now we're moving. Now we're schmoving. Can I jump in the first person? Let's find out. Yes, I can. It's Metroid Prime time now. This is very Metroid Prime-ish, actually. Nintendo is shook. Can I hoverboard in first person? Let's find out. I can. I can first person hoverboard. Oh, it's like Tribes. Just casually having a first person button is really bold, but I like it. Ninjas are gonna get you for leaking Prime 4, it's true. I'm running in on that dev kit that I don't have. Oops. But, right action to enter the door. Okay, so this is much more like Lung. Automaton Lung. But yes, there was a lot of AI junk there, but it wasn't what was getting attention. Like, there were booths with big, flashy demos and stuff. You know, motion capture demos with tennis for 2. There was a big, like, badminton cage, or like squash. The League Prime 4, they don't give me a dev kit. That'll work well. Nintendo infamously responds very well to threats. I wish. But, yeah, tennis for 2 mentioned. And I say this facetiously. They were running this, like, motion capture demo of like a fully caged-in squash court of people playing squash or racquetball or something. No, it was racquetball because squash, I think you hit on a wall. Regardless, they had that. There was another motion capture demo. There were some VR glasses from some Chinese startup that they were trying to look for money. Lots of AI, this and that, but those booths really weren't getting much foot traffic. And I went to the show floor in 2 days. Bob's Game. That's if you remember Bob's Game, you qualify for a veteran's discount. If you know, you know. If you don't, look it up. You're in for a fun time, especially if you like Earthbound /Mother. Oh, interesting. Another chip. This is really pretty up here. So all those booths were there, but they weren't really doing much traffic. And because there were none of the big bread and circus sort of mega booths from the normal big money sponsors, and there wasn't much excitement about the AI products, everybody was at like the IGF, the Independent Games Festival booths, and the Control-Alt-GDC booths, which if you're not aware of Control-Alt-GDC, that is easily the coolest part of the show floor. They are all the games that require non-standard controllers. You had one that was about petting a cat that involved you slapping a giant cat butt that was like huge. There was one that was just chilling in the garden, like chilling in a park, that was like a lawn with pillows on it that had sensors that could tell when people were sitting on them. There was a pirate one that involved going back and forth on a seesaw. There was one called Chroma Corp that was inspired by Severance that had a whole office, like with cubicles and different stations. And everybody had a role to play the game. It was multiplayer. I believe it was 5 players. Oh. Uh-oh, I'm getting Final Fantasy VII Rebirth flashbacks with this guy. Reunion. But that area was really hopping. And it's funny because everybody was there, and people who were looking for money weren't finding money, and people who were looking for work maybe found work. I know a couple of people who got jobs out of this GDC, so I don't think it was this hopeless on that front as one might believe. But the funding situation continues to be dire, and because of that, I think there's just this assumption that a pistol plus was some way... Oh, okay. I have to use some stuff. What does the chip do? I have to feed my stomach. Let's eat some beetle eggs. What does this chip do? It's probably for my brain. Disposable inhaler's probably for my lungs. Oh, I'll save that. The LARP wing, yes. Yeah, well, it's kind of LARPy in a little bit of a sense. It's like a LARP meets video game. But yeah, I think because nobody was getting funded, and nobody was none of the big vendors really thought that anybody was going to bite, or that they would sell to any smaller teams, and I already have relationships with all the bigger ones, so why show up? So it was this very strange moment of reckoning that gave me eerie vibes of E3 and its decline. Now, I don't think that GDC or E3 have nearly the same purpose, and so I don't think they're immediately comparable. And that doesn't mean I think that GDC is at risk of dying out like E3 did. Hey, Sultry, welcome. Let's see. Oh, this is all in Cyrillic. Interesting. Automech. This is like an automaton hospital, perhaps. The world building in this game continues to be drip slow and juicy. Oh, yes, I know. I can't hold any more chips. Too many chips. But essentially, my takeaway from the GDC show floor was this. The big three-ring circus era of game developer or game industry growth is over now, at least for the time being. I think the fact that all the big vendors weren't here this year, and this is the first year in recent memory where that's been true, is an indicator that... Oh, hey, Glitchy Sai. Oh, you haven't missed that much. I'm still going. I haven't even changed to my second game yet. I probably should. Stick around if you can. If you can't, always good to see you drop in. Yeah, GDC. It's in a weird spot. The roaring 20s of video games have met with an abrupt halt. And I guess the question is, well, what comes next? There's a lot of AI people. They weren't really that interesting to the crowd. I think that the people who are interested in AI products are primarily people who are producing games already and want to do it for less money. People were really interested in indie games, but nobody's funding them. Nobody can get any money for them. Doesn't seem like the big middleware vendors thought it was worth going, because anybody big enough to have pre-existing deals they already worked with, and indie developers aren't getting funded, so they weren't there. It really feels like everything is in a holding pattern. GDC, I don't know if GDC's going quite the E3 way yet. I see some echoes of it, but there's not really another show like it, and I don't think this Icon show that the ESA is spinning up is going to do well. I think the fact that Icon is in Vegas indicates the way that the ESA is hedging its bets as far as future stability and growth for the game industry goes. And I think that the way they're hedging it is aligning themselves closer with gambling and the gaming industries. My fortune cookie with my Chinese food the other day had an ad for an online casino in it. If that gives you any indication of how much money is currently being pumped into online gambling right now. So I think that a lot of the ESA's top brass is starting to turn their eyes towards that. And what does that mean for quadruple A or triple A or whatever? Who knows? There's the big question on everybody's minds right now with Assassin's Creed Shadows having come out. Swillionaire says, that's crazy, pejorative. Agreed. But yeah, Assassin's Creed Shadows just came out, and everybody's wondering, well, did it sell enough for Ubisoft to avoid this terrible fate that everybody's been whispering about? I think it's no coincidence if there are those of you who might not have heard. Ubisoft just announced that they've done a reverse spin-off with Tencent, where they've gotten like $1.25 billion of Tencent money. Oh, do I get to go in the castle? Yay, I get to go in the castle. That's exciting. This music reminds me of Eastern Mind a lot. Not much in the castle, but it's okay. Oh, I'm glad that I'm good to casually listen to Gab as I trot around this world. I'm getting better at multitasking at the very least. Having my phone here to be my little chat screen sure helps a lot. But yeah, Tencent and Ubisoft, and once again, it is Ubisoft, ubiquitous software. That's what Ubisoft stands for. They announced essentially a reverse spin-off that is a wholly owned Ubisoft subsidiary that has full license rights to Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Tom Clancy. Ubineko. Cursed. Absolutely cursed. But essentially, Tencent and Ubisoft just poured all of their most profitable game series into one basket. My gut instinct is that it was a reverse spin-off and that they're getting ready to jettison the whole company if they have to and just hold on to their most profitable stuff with Tencent's help. So we are at a really tenuous point, and I think everybody's in a holding pattern to see which way the blocks fall. It was heartening, however, to see that I think the IGF actually had a stronger, more popular showing for it. Once again, when big money games are at a weird, confusing inflection point where the model stops working, indie is there to pick up the slack. That happened in between the transition from, kind of cinematic AAA games and the games as a service model. When, traditional AAA big budget games were getting too big for most mid-range outfits to actually pull off. And games as a service hadn't been discovered as a way to shore up revenue on the console platforms yet. All of a sudden, all major consoles had indie departments. Nintendo had a direct indie outreach program, which they still have Indie World, but it is not nearly as robust as it once was. Microsoft had indie development at Xbox, which they still do have. They're the only one that has one left. Sony had one that's essentially a ghost department now, from what I understand. But Sony's indie outreach was really something in the mid-2010s. If you got signed with Sony, they could, like, between the Vita and the PS4, they did a lot of indie stuff. But I think that what's true is that indies might benefit from this, but I don't know if it's going to be in a way that actually builds anything unless we make it so. Because with AAA, it's always indie's a stopgap until they figure out the next cash cow. And I see that happening again. Oh, beautiful. That's gorgeous. I guess we should go over there, shouldn't we? Yeah, Rick did that in Japan Studio. I thought it was really funny that Sony just gave up and licensed out Everybody's Golf and Patapon to Bandai Namco. They don't know what to do with it anymore, I guess. But yeah, holding pattern is kind of how I feel. Indies have opportunity in this holding pattern if the funding situation can scrape itself together, because nobody's willing to put money into it. I think because the investor environment has gotten so divorced from the actual nature of audiences and consumer bases. A lot of it was like kind of tech money that saw video games as the next big thing, I think. And a lot of that's dried up. And ultimately, the games industry's growth and development costs were really propped up by speculative capital that, well, once the interest rates went down to zero, it wasn't so easy to get anymore. And so we're all trying to figure out where the money comes from and what happens next. And that's where I think things are at. Holding pattern. I see an opportunity for smaller developers in it if they can get the money. It's kind of a catch-22 in funding right now. You can't get the money to make an indie game, and since you can't make an indie game, you can't get money. I think that, I have tons of thoughts about the indie ecosystem and how it's been managed and mismanaged. But I could go all stream about that. Oh, I'm going down into the milk. Let's see. What's down here? Ah. Uh-oh. I think I might have just hit a kill room down here. Yeah, this looks pretty dead end. Well, did I get tricked? I think I got tricked. Rip. Well, there is a way out. Might have to use it, because it's about time to transition to our next game. But some questions to answer first as this good music plays. What do you think of the degradation of the term indie? Yeah, indie, I feel like one of my big problems with indie and why it's been mismanaged, as it were, in a way that kind of led to a lot of indie games. Oh, thank you for following Kronos Agonet, I believe. Thank you very much. I've really got to change that font. Yeah, indie as a term, I would say, kind of became an aesthetic and a brand. Or at least it was billed as an aesthetic and a brand for video games without really understanding why that worked in indie film. And indie games aren't cohesive enough and have too many disparate audiences. That's the word I was looking for. To really have indie be a label that communicates anything useful. And so now we have all this indie product and people are unable to navigate it. None of it's selling. And all the investors going, oh, the indie game market is crashing. Well, no. You just didn't really take the time to do the legwork and understanding your audience, I don't think. Look at labels like, I always go to Haunted PS1 and I always go to, as loaded as the thing it's been, especially after this past week. Oh, hey, Turk, I'm about to run your game. I remember in the 2010 era indie was synonymous with with pixel in it. Like, you know, Dave the Diver Best Indie. We're there again, you know? That game is published by Nexon, for people who don't know. They are very much not indie. Okay, your secret's safe with me. But, yeah, I think in that sense, indie has become kind of a term that doesn't mean a whole lot. And I think it's going to refer more to scale of production, just like indie film does, and lose aesthetic signifier as time goes on. And again, like what I'm trying to do with Aqualounge, I was using the example of a haunted PS1, and as contentious as the phrase has been in the news this past week, wholesome games, which is, you know, queer-operated and very equitable circle of developers who I respect. They really understand that to build a network with your audience and to get them to, oh, thank you for the subscription, Meta Regress. Thank you very much. Oh, Sultry giving out subs. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Giving tier 1 sub. Thank you. Much appreciated. And if you really want to reach your audience, you have to understand the why. Haunted PS1 understands the why. It's that people want to be scared, and they want to be scared in a way that's got aesthetic signifiers from real classics in the game horror genre. They want that kind of semiotic language and aesthetic language, and they want to be scared. And they want to see what people do with that and iterate on it. It's kind of a cultural canon unto itself. People who play wholesome games from wholesome games want to feel that wholesomeness. They want to feel cozy. They want to feel in control. It's kind of like keeping a Zen garden, almost. Thing that you can tend to, where everything is as it ought to be. That's the why. Both Haunted PS1 and wholesome games have a why. And that's something that I feel like everybody from Devolver to Humble, which, you know, this past year closed down their publishing arm, to smaller indie directs of various sorts. I saw a couple past couple weeks that I think had this problem. They don't have a why. They don't have a compelling why. And that's got me thinking about Aqualounge's why. I think I'm going to do a video about that. I'm going to do a video about Aqualounge's why. I did a pretty good job with the relaunch video about talking about the what. But I don't think there's a compelling why to what an Aqualounge game is yet that I've put into words. And so I think I'm going to tackle that and talk about the why and why the why is important. I've been thinking about it. Look forward to updates on me, or from me, about the why, because the why is all important. Any other questions before we jump to break and then go over to Rubine? Let's see. No, I think that's about it. Well, for those who are with us, this was Automaton Heart, sequel to the very last 3DS game, Automaton Lung. And you can support this if you liked it and toss a little money over on Kickstarter, because that campaign is still going. Thank you, Nozoto, posting it in the chat. I think you've probably gotten a couple backers from this. 5 hours to go. Make it happen. This is the most direct action you can do to make the world a better place. If you like this game, you can literally help give it the funds to make it better. And with that, we'll be right back. A little bit of Rubine First Fight.